Hey there, Lakewood family. This is Pastor Dave, just wanting to check in with you again this week. Trust that you are doing all right in the midst of what are constantly changing circumstances and a whole lot of unknown. And that's something I wanted to speak briefly about with you today, is just how much of what's going on right now is unknown. Even those who would have opinions about what's happening seem to be speculating a lot about what's going to be happening in the coming weeks and months. Ideas of when the country could reopen for business, when things will get back to normal. A lot of speculation happening, not always a lot of facts in these days. And so it feels like there's so many things that we just don't know. And I just wanted to suggest two things that I think we can do in the midst of so many unknowns in our life. And the first, have some grace for yourself. In the midst of this, you may be feeling a lot of ups and downs. I know over the days, I certainly have been. Moments in a day where I'm feeling great and have a great sense of purpose can be followed very quickly by moments of just wondering what's going on and finding that I have an inner turmoil going on. So in the midst of that, have some grace for yourself. Have grace for one another. Be kind and gentle. Realize that God has so much grace for us. He knows us so well. He knows what we're going through, and He has grace for us. So have some grace for yourself and for those around you. The other thing I wanted to say too is that in the midst of so many unknowns, I just want to encourage you today to focus on what we do know. And by that, I don't mean the things that we know from the news or statistics or things that are going on with the coronavirus. What I mean by that is focus on what we do know about what is true ultimately. And that is the reality of the character and nature and love of God. Just wanted to read a few verses for you today, and maybe these are verses that you've been reading on your own, holding on to in these days, because they are really verses of encouragement. From Philippians chapter 4, verses 4 to 8. Rejoice in the Lord always. I will say it again, rejoice. Let your gentleness be evident to all. The Lord is near. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Our God invites us to pour out our fears, our worries, our concerns, all of that stuff on Him, and promises that when we do that, the peace of Christ will guard our hearts and minds. So I just encourage you today, do that. Call on the solid rock of our God with all the things you're experiencing, and think about the things that He encourages us to, whatever is good and lovely and right and admirable. Focus our minds on these things, that we would experience His peace and His hope in these days. God bless you, church. I look forward to seeing you on Sunday for a special service where we're going to be focusing on mission and just an opportunity to reflect on the good things God is doing. We'll see you Sunday.